And during this, there was a great scene. The head of mission control, who's smoking cigarettes, sleeves are rolled up, he has this vest on, nervous wreck. Obviously, Houston, we have a problem. And then they were trying to figure out how to get these folks back. The whole mission changed to how do we get these folks back. Everything else that we had planned, done. Get them back, safe, alive. And so the head of mission control goes to the engineers, the key engineers, and he says, we only have, these are all the tools and components and computers that we have on the ship. We need to squeeze every amp of energy out of that capsule in order to ship them back. We need to squeeze every amp of energy. And then the top engineer came in and threw on the table like this, all of the components that were in the spaceship that were just there. And they had to make all these different things out of what they had on the spaceship, on Apollo 13. And it reminded me about what we're trying to do here. We have to use what we have. No one's going to come in here and say, all of a sudden, here's this brand new, research park that's going to have 5,000 jobs, and we're all going to be happy, and it's going to be great. We have a lot of those things here already. But we look past them and say, well, but what about this problem? Yeah, we have problems. We're like every other community. We have issues. But we have assets that we can build on as a community. And those of you who sit into this room, you work there, you see what's happening, you're involved in the progress. And this Tech Belt initiative is about us all coming together to figure out how we squeeze every amp of energy out of this region and point it in the new direction, the new mission that we have. And there's no doubt in my mind that this can happen. And it is happening in little ways, but not fast enough, not quick enough, not broadly enough. I want to give you one example. There's a company called Eris Medical down in Youngstown. It's a healthcare software. It focuses on the integrity of the revenue cycle, tracking healthcare providers that miss revenue, charge capture opportunities. The two founders of this business worked for Deloitte & Touche, one in Cleveland, one in Pittsburgh. They founded their software company at the Youngstown Business Incubator in Youngstown. They're doing the beta testing at St. Elizabeth's in Youngstown, received technical input from SUMA, University Hospital, Akron Children's, Akron General, UPMC. They couldn't get into these hospitals. Rob Briggs from GAR and Dick Pogue, partner emeritus at Jones Day, called to work these folks into these hospitals. That is squeezing every amp of energy out of this community, where everybody is participating. It may be a phone call. It may be money. That's important too. But it may be advice. There's no telling what it could be. And I don't know what all your talents are. And Congressman Altmire doesn't know what all your talents are. And many times we don't even know what each other's talents are. That's what this is about sharing information and intelligence and focusing on this great mission that we all have to rebuild our communities. What better life's work could we all have? We're all from here. We all live here, even if we're not from here. And we have, I think, everything that it takes. So we've started a steering committee. Joel Ratner and Dee Peart from Allegheny Conference, Joel's obviously from Wien, to put this thing together for us. We had a great meeting a few months ago with Senator Brown from Ohio and Senator Casey from Pennsylvania, their chiefs of staff, Congressman Altmire and I, to work on really starting to push this initiative and do everything we can with it. And it's exciting. So recent developments are we're sharing information. We created a white paper, and Ray Leach was just an instrumental part of getting that done, that we gave to the presidential candidates. Now we have one who is, I forget how he Ralph said it earlier, he's going to rise up and take high office in a few days. This federal investment is there to match the $800 million from the Third Frontier and the Ben Franklin program that they have over in Pennsylvania, so that there's a federal component to all this. Not that we're going to organize it, but that we're going to continue to push it. And I wanted to just share with you some of the investments that are, this is, hot off the presses in the last day or two, some of the initiatives that are going to come out of the stimulus package. National Science Foundation, $3 billion, including $2 billion for expanding employment opportunities in fundamental science engineering jobs. NIH, biomedical research, $2 billion. $1.5 billion for expanding good jobs in biomedical research. University research facilities, $1.5 billion. Centers for Disease Control, Department of Energy, $1.9 billion. NASA, $600 million. Biomedical Advanced Research and Development, Pandemic, Flu, Cybersecurity, $900 million. These are investments that are going to be made. And the more we cooperate, the more we work together, the more we're going to be in line to leverage the kind of federal dollars that we need to leverage to make this stuff happen. And it's going to take every single one of us to do it. We're going to do a SWOT analysis here. We're going to get a consultant to help us plan and kind of organize this. And eventually we're going to need staff to help us drive this. Not a big staff, but someone who can help coordinate and have a clearinghouse where all of this information can get processed. Last couple of points before I let Congressman Altmire speak that I think we're doing in Youngstown right now, and the state of Ohio is doing something similar. The state of Ohio calls it Ohio Means Home. At Youngstown State, we're calling it Grow Home, where we are contacting alums who have been successful. We talk a lot about the brain drain. Well, these people are somewhere, and the brain drain's been going on for a long time. So a lot of these people are in key positions in key companies, key corporations, key universities all over the country. We need to contact them because many of them want to come back here, but they still think it's like 1975 when they left, They don't see the progress that has been made and much of the work that you have been doing. And we need to get them back here. And we're not going to get them all, but we can get some. And they have the opportunity to bring jobs, whether it's backroom engineering jobs or a lab, or they have the ability to do that. They are from here. They may want their kids to know their grandparents. It may be that simple. But we can get them back here if we have this comprehensive idea, collaboration, creating a new culture, bringing people back to this community that want to be here. So this is, I think, something that is significant. And I think everybody in this room has a part to play. Quite frankly, you are the movers and the shakers. I mean, I'm from Niles. I'm at the City Club in Cleveland. What am I doing here, You are the movers and shakers in Cleveland. We have one of the movers and shakers in Pittsburgh and much interest down there. We can do this. You are Cleveland. You are it. Let's do it. There's nobody else we've got to call. They're all in this room right now. It's you. And in some way, we need to figure out how this all fits together. And that's what we're doing. But we need you to join us. Because it's not going to be Jason and Tim and it's all going to be fine. It's going to be you driving it from the grassroots level, pushing this thing, rebranding our community, giving young people an opportunity to come back here, and making the kind of significant change that we all want to see in this community. There aren't votes here for us, and I tell you, this is not a hobby. This is a job, and I love it. And I want to see this thing happen. I want to see Youngstown turn around. I want to see Akron turn around. I want to see Cleveland turn around. I want to see Pittsburgh turn around. I want this to be the model that everyone else in the country looks at. The Tech Belt. How did they do it? And they're going to ask about Joe and Ray and Tom Humphreys and everything else. Who are these people? Call them and find out. How'd they do it? That should be our goal here. And I know we're going to do it because we have the talent to do it. I just will end with the Bobby Kennedy quote. I saw his picture out there. I said I better end with it. He had a great quote during his campaign. He said, "I do not promise you ease. I do not promise you comfort.